All right, welcome again to Rolling Up the River with the Gridiron Geek and Rolynn's reviews. Today we'll be taking a look at the Geek's Week 9 Friday night predictions. How did Week 8 go for the teams of Mississippi Magazine Geek?
You can only call it a gut check.
Okay.
We had 12 games of Mississippi Magazine uh, having the 12 teams. We had all 12 teams playing outside opponents last Friday night, and we went 4-8. It's one of the worst records that I can remember the county uh, putting out there against in that kind of scenario against 12 outside opponents. We really thought that we could do a little bit better than that, if not turn a winning record in week 8.
Right.
DeSoto lost unexpectedly to the Potosi Trojans. The Windsor Owls lost very unexpectedly to the Fredericktown Black Cats. But speaking of Black Cats, we did have a couple of exceptions to the rule, and
Okay.
it's the Festus Tigers and the Herculaneum Black Cats. The Festus Tigers had probably their best homecoming win of the modern era,
Oh, wow.
coming from behind to beat the powerful Farmington Black Knights 41-36.
Okay.
And the Herculaneum Black Cats upset the Perryville Pirates of Class 4 with
Okay.
a 16-13 victory, on which the winning play came on a beautiful hook and ladder trick play touchdown to the running back Clark Struckoff. So we were very proud of the Black Cats and the Tigers,
Okay.
and we're glad that there were a couple rays of sunshine on what was an otherwise pretty tough week 8 for local pigskin. But I do think that the upcoming district playoffs
Okay.
are going to put everybody back on level ground and sort a lot of things out. And I'm still really excited about our team's prospects in that great big tournament to come.
All right. Before we get to the playoffs, let's see what happens in the final game of Missouri's regular season in Friday Night Lights. What is our first prediction for Week 9, Mr. Geek?
Our first featured prediction of 4 in week 9 is the JCTV Bowl between the Herculaneum Black Cats and the DeSoto Dragons. Now, let me explain. Back
Okay.
in the day when we had a public access TV channel, Jefferson College Television, that used to put the Friday Night Lights here on the air, it was really just one great big conference that just about everybody in the county belonged to. And you had a lot more games like Herculaneum versus DeSoto. These teams haven't played in a conference together for a long time. They chose on a sort of out of conference, optional week of whoever they could schedule to play, they could. And they picked week 9 to have really a revival of this heritage when the large schools and the small schools from our county played each other.
Okay.
Now, do I think it's going to be a good game? Well, it's going to be a lot better than a typical game between a great big school and a little bit smaller school.
Okay.
Um, DeSoto coming off really a hangover after upsetting the Hillsboro Hawks. I think they were just kind of after that, they didn't know how to focus on Potosi.
Okay.
And so that kind of contributed to their loss last week was the hangover. Should be all recovered by this week, but
Okay.
Herky's impressed me the whole season. Herculaneum Black Cats really having a bona fide or bona fide, as they say, revival season, and putting a really nice winning record together. So I really like some of Herky's tactics. I think that Herky can attack DeSoto's weaknesses with a kind of simplified but kind of incisive wing tee offense that Herky's been running to great success this year. And the only
Okay.
reason I think DeSoto's going to win is because I think the larger school with some wide field tactics of its own is likely to wear down Herky a little bit in the second half.
Okay.
They did it last year, very quickly, wore down Herky in the contest last year, but this year in the rematch, I think it's going to take a lot longer. And my prediction is DeSoto 34 and Herky 24 in the JCTV Bowl this Friday night.
Okay, we shall see. All right, so let's look at our second featured game of week 9, the Crystal City Hornets at the Grandview Eagles. And Geek, tell me, what is the matter with the Hornets this year?
You know, Crystal City had a bad debut. They got some bad breaks in the schedule that is really uh, just taking a toll on this year's Crystal City Hornets. But when it came to Week Eight's loss against to Scotland County, the Scotland County Tigers, Crystal City lost by 3 touchdowns, and they had a good game on offense.
Wow.
Crystal City's offense is really starting to come together. I like what I see. The quarterback, Landon DeRoos, is healthy, and everybody's executing at a lot better clip than previously this season when Crystal City was slumping so bad. But
Right.
the defense still looked a step slow and a little bit too confused and
Oh,
missing way too many tackles against a pretty fast backfield from Scotland County that just punished Crystal City with all kinds of long, explosive carries for touchdowns in the game. So they're going up this week against the Grandview Eagles, which the Grandview Eagles, in addition to being a little bit larger school and a little bit of a natural favorite in the game, they've got a really good backfield and they've got really good blocking.
okay.
And we're just, and you have to be afraid that Crystal City's defense is just not going to be able to hold up against a really burly and fast Class 1 team that looks like a favorite to win that Class 1 district this year that both Grandview and Crystal City play in. So we're going to predict Grandview 48 and Crystal City 20
Oh, wow.
as the final score of that little preview of the district tournament in Class 1.
All right. All I can say to that is fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle. Let my spirit carry me. Woo! 1976 was a good year. All right. All right. Let's move to our third featured game this week, the Oakville Tigers at the Northwest Lions.
You know, I think that first and foremost, this is likely to be one of the most exciting games to take place that Mississippi Magazine is going to cover in Week 9.
All right.
I think it's a fascinating matchup.
Okay.
And although I think the Northwest Lions can prevail,
Okay. You
it's
do?
certainly not going to be easy.
Will
And
Oakville ruin the Geeks playoff bracket prediction? That's my question.
will they ruin the bracket prediction? Well, thank you for reminding me of that because
Okay.
we need to talk about that.
Uh-oh.
Um, I owe Cohen Stark's team an apology and really the Seckman Jaguars
Okay.
for making the mistake of just assuming that Oakville wouldn't be coming on as strong as it is.
Okay.
Um, touting this preordained rematch supposedly in Class 6 in the district semifinals between what felt like it was going to be a number 2 versus number 3 seed contest in the Seckman Jaguars and the Northwest Lions, who already played once in Week 3 and who presumably really look forward to that rematch. But Oakville has come on so strong, beating Christine, our producer's hometown team of Rittner, in an upset in midseason, and looking now like they might just threaten to spoil the Northwest Lions a little bit at the tail end of a really watershed season for Northwest Cedar Hill.
All
So
right.
my apology is, I touted this upcoming playoff game. It might not happen if Oakville upsets Northwest, or maybe we shouldn't even call it an upset. If Oakville trips Northwest this
Right.
Friday night, then the whole bracket is going to get scrambled up again.
Uh-oh.
So we're saying a little prayer. We're thinking only good thoughts. We hope that Northwest trips Oakville by a close score, and
Okay.
we're going to predict that Mr. Stark's team will win 35-34 over the Oakville Tigers.
We shall see, Mr. Geek. And all I can say to that is it seems as though you have more than a feeling, more than a feeling. All right. Let's move on, Mr. Geek. Does Mississippi Magazine finally have a kind word for Valley?
Do I have a kind word for Valley? Well, it would be weird uh, or it is weird to have a kind word for Valley this week of all weeks, because we have our St. Pius Lancers
Yeah.
visiting the Valley Catholic Warriors in our fourth featured prediction
Okay.
today. Now, Valley Catholic has had a contentious relationship with Mississippi Magazine
Okay.
because of the scenario involving private schools in Missouri. So for a long time, it looked as though private schools were going to dominate every district bracket and just about every state bracket. And MISHA, our athletic association, made up a new rule where you could get promoted if you're a private school team and you're outstanding. Once you have a certain amount of success at the state level, you get promoted. So for a long time, Valley Catholic was really a class 3 or class 4 level contender playing in class 1. And the best way you could put it is that Valley Catholic for a long time was the North Dakota State
Okay.
of Friday Night Lights here in Eastern Missouri. So you said, man, they're a top 25 quality team, but they're going to stay in that underneath division where they've won 8 or 9 times in a row. So my only problem uh, really ever with the Valley Catholic Warriors was not that they were a great team or that they defeated our teams that we cover on the blog, but rather because I felt like it wasn't doing anybody any good to just watch Valley whitewash and just destroy
Right.
a division, or have a division killer, as they say. Why not move up and embrace the prospect of moving up? And when Valley was promoted to class 2 and to class 3, depending on the year, we weren't sure if they were going to embrace it. But Valley has embraced being promoted to a higher weight class, and they actually made an appearance in the Class 2 state championship game. So they really worked through, whatever controversy there was or hurt feelings. They worked through it. They set about contending in a higher weight class, and they did.
Okay.
What's more, in the last couple of years, we've found that Valley head coach Judd Nager, who I used to nickname Dex R. Stacky on Mississippi Magazine, to indicate that he had a little bit of a stacked team and compared to his opponent lots of times. He did not have a stacked team last year, and in my opinion, he doesn't have a stacked team this year.
Right.
I think the last couple of seasons bear out that Valley has been in the same boat as everybody else. They don't have an artificially great team or artificially, recruited from afar.
Yeah.
And they have really good coaching and really great work ethic, and they've improved each season as they go. So they start out looking like an ordinary team, and then by the end they look like the Valley Warriors again. Now that's impressive. So I have changed my perspective on Valley. I do have a few kind things to say about Valley, but not this week, because this week we really want the St. Pius Lancers to get a victory St. Pius had an enormously disappointing performance last week against St. Pius X of Kansas City. And we really want Cody Shaver's team to at least have a better performance and have a chance to win this Friday night. So I'm calling for Valley 27, St. Pius 13, in what we all hope will be a really tight and fun contest in St. Genevieve.
Shooting at the walls of heartache, bang, bang. I am the warrior. Now it's time for Rolling Up the River's quick takes on this week's remaining games. Let's go. All right. Jacksonville Indians at the Festus Tigers.
That is the Jackson Indians and not the Jacksonville Indians.
Whoa.
But yeah, which is an important distinction to make. However,
Right.
Jackson is so good that they might as well be a team from Florida half of the time. So very poignant mistake, in my opinion, to call them Jacksonville.
Claudius.
We're worried about the Jackson Indians coming to visit the Festus Tigers at the tail end of a regular season, because no matter how successful that we think Festus has been for the last 2 or 3 years, there's almost no way that they can cope with the Jackson Indians for 4 quarters. Jackson is a legitimate state championship contender in Class 6. So we're just hoping that Festus can have a good sort of rotation roster game and make enough plays along the way to not be embarrassed. They don't want to be whitewashed 55-0.
Right.
But it's not so important whether Festus wins this game. I just think it's important that they have a good show. So we're going to call for Jackson 54, Festus 21 in the first of our quick predictions this week.
We're going to see how that works out. And all I can say to the Tigers is rising up, back on the street. Did my time, took my chances. It's all about that eye of the tiger. So we're going to see how that works out. All right. What about the Jefferson Blue Jays at St. Vincent Indians?
The Jefferson Blue Jays are still slumping. Last week with a lopsided loss to St. Genevieve.
Okay.
We're worried about Cooper Frisk's team. I'm still very excited about the upcoming Class 2 district bracket.
Okay.
But I wish the Jefferson Blue Jays had a couple more weeks to prepare for it on top of what they're already going to get, because this is a team that has been downtrodden since midseason.
Yeah.
One thing about a game at St. Vincent or any game against the St. Vincent Indians, it tends to wake Jefferson up. So we're not calling for another lopsided loss tonight.
Okay.
Give Jefferson an outside chance and call for a prediction of St. Vincent 28 and Jefferson 7.
All right. We'll see. Gridiron Geek. All right. Next, we have the Seckman Jaguars at the Webster Groves Statesmen.
Another easy, simple Friday night for the Seckman Jaguars. I'm sure the coaches hate it when I come on here and say that, but I'm a reporter. I'm not a motivational speaker.
Okay.
If you want to motivate them, let's say, go out and have another 40-point first half and get the JV out in the field and start preparing for the playoffs. That's what everybody wants to look toward this time of year when you have a program as strong, as powerful as Seckman. So I'm calling for Seckman to win 45-7 over a Webster Groves team that's also been backpedaling really, really badly as the leaves turn.
Okay. Thank you, Gridiron. Let's see. Next, we have the Hillsboro Hawks at Poplar Bluff Mules.
Hillsboro coughed away an opportunity to beat Chaminade last week. I felt that the Chaminade Red Devils had a tough row to plow against the Hillsboro defense. It was promising that the Hillsboro defense had a better game, but with turnovers and blunders and inefficiency on offense, they weren't able to hang in there for both halves and make it a close game at the end. So we think they'll do that this week. I think Poplar Bluff has maybe a win-loss record that's a little bit inflated from a little bit easier schedule than Hillsboro's schedule this year. But we're still going to call for Poplar Bluff Mules because of the momentum.
Yeah.
And because of Hillsborough's difficulty here late in the season, we're going to call for Poplar Bluff to win by 11 points, 32-21.
Right. Well, we shall see. Next, we have the Bayless Broncos at the Windsor Owls. Kurt's quick take. It's on you, Geek.
Windsor had one of the worst losses in their school's history last week, based on the fact that the Owls were such a heavy favorite over Fredericktown. Fredericktown was winless after 7 games, looked like they might go winless the whole season, and beating the Windsor Owls convincingly. That's just a far cry from where Windsor was earlier in the season when they were playing good games against Hillsborough, setting program records with the offense. It's unfortunately night and day, or I guess day and night, because it was bright and now it's gloomy. But
Right.
once again, Bayless is an opponent that Windsor has a lot of confidence against. Has beaten so many times. I can't believe Windsor would lose again unexpectedly to a steep underdog twice in a row. So we're going to call for the Owls to win that game 49-21 this Friday night.
All right, and we shall see. Next, we have the Fox Warriors at the Ladue Rams. Geek.
Fox Warriors still struggling to get the mojo back.
Okay.
If they ever had it this year, I think it was in week 2 that classic overtime battle with the Seckman Jaguars. You don't want to say that losing that game, set Fox back psychologically for the whole season, but it sure seems like something did. It's an offense that can't get out of its own way.
Right.
And the Fox Warrior defense has been giving up just enough points to lose in most of their games. They had a better game last week against Parkway North. I think that the defense will hang in there again this week against the powerful Ladue Rams, but we can't see Fox scoring enough points to win. So we're going to say Ladue wins this game 26-9 over the Fox Warriors this Friday night.
Oh, wow. Okay, and we know that Halloween is coming up, so thank you, Geek. That wraps up our predictions on Week 9 in Jefferson County. So join us next week for a spooky Friday night prediction on playoff games this Halloween.
Thank you, Rolynn.
Oh my God.